Okay, so what we wanted to show you today is our Comfrey plant. It's spelled C-O-M-F-R-E-Y. I've been growing this plant in my garden for at least 10 years. And the reason why I grow this plant mainly is for supplementing my compost pile. This plant has a very beneficial in breaking compost down very, very quickly. It's got a very deep taproot. It's my understanding that these plants could have a taproot as deep as 20-25 feet. That taproot goes down, grabs the minerals, brings them up, and deposits the minerals in the leaves. So it's really the leaves that we're going for here, and throughout the year we'll come back in here and break these leaves off. Again, you could cut this plant down to the ground, it would come right back. There's no issue with that whatsoever. Now, you could actually take the leaves and use them as a ground cover type mulch, just like it is here. You don't have to touch them, break them down or anything. These will break down very, very, very quickly. But what I do is to aid in that and make it even quicker in breaking down. I just take the leaves. Again, I do it by hand. You could do it with shears. I don't use gloves. You may want to use gloves, but I just break them down and basically chiffonade, if you will, the leaves, and I deposit them at the base of the plant and let them naturally just decompose. Now, I did this just 6 days ago. I had a whole pile, probably twice as high as what you see here. If you look at my last video, this plant was about twice the size. It was very out of control, and I've trimmed it back quite a bit. And I had a fairly large pile of leaves that I shredded. And you can see here, just after 6 days or so, what you've got here is something that's already broken down. Now, if I added this to my compost, it actually aids in the speed at which the compost is going to break down. There's some kind of an enzyme in these leaves that, again, aids in that digestion, if you will, of the compost pile. So if you don't already have Comfrey, I would suggest looking for it and adding it to your garden. It's a nice ground cover. You don't have to do anything to this plant. You know, once you plant it and water it for the first couple weeks, you can just let it go. It has a tuberous type root, very similar to like a ginger root, something like that, maybe horseradish type tuber. You put it in the ground, you leave it. This overwinters here in New England, no problem. So there's no problem with having to worry about it throughout the winter. It's a perennial. It'll come back year after year. So fantastic plant. If you can get some of this, I highly recommend it. Like I said, fantastic, fantastic for your compost pile.